Cory Mills. He's a Florida congressman sitting on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the House Armed Services Committee. And I know that you've been listening to this. What's your takeaway from what you just heard?
Well, look, I mean, you're talking about two senators who do suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, two individuals who are not advancing, whether it be out of their primary or within the Senate itself into the next election cycle. And they have a bit of this, buyer's remorse, and they're trying to back it off now and say that it was because of a principled manner, when the reality is they were just trying to play a little quid pro quo, which is the kind of standard drug deals within the Senate and the House, where if I know that I'm a deciding vote, I can go ahead and try and see if I can get something out of it. These two individuals have continued to delay things, but here's the bigger question. Why is every single one of these senators who are sitting in right now in D.C. not voting for the Save America Act? Why is it that the House continues to do their job while the Senate basically points their finger about the House and talks about how we didn't do this or we didn't do that, and they can't even take a standard vote to try and protect election integrity? So the Senate needs to get off their butt and start doing their jobs, and I think that all the senators who signed up for the no recess in August until we pass the Save America Act, those are the patriots that we need to be getting behind and supporting, and those are the ones we need to be looking at for leadership in the future.
Yeah, Congressman, do you believe that John Thune does not have the votes in the Senate to get this across the finish line? Do you think that that's truly the case and that they should stick this out? Because clearly, to your point, this is a major priority before the recess.
Look, I don't care if it's a filibuster for 4 hours, 4 days, or 40 days. At the end of the day, what we need to make sure is that everyone goes on record. Either they vote for election integrity and they support the idea of voter ID, or they don't. Whether it passes or not, the American people need to know who supports election integrity and who doesn't. This has always been the biggest problem, is that they don't want to bring a bill to the floor because they say, oh, well, we don't have the votes, or we do have the votes. But when you don't put it on the floor, you allow these members who would vote against election integrity to get away from it, saying, well, we never voted on such a thing, so therefore they get to skate along, acting as if they would have supported it if it came to the floor. Put it on the floor regardless of votes and let people go on record so that their constituents can hold them accountable. It's not just about the Senate trying to get the votes, but the constituency knowing who to hold accountable for their votes.
Well, in the meantime, President Trump calling Iranian leadership absolutely duplicitous when it comes to talks, yet going on to express a bit of mercy in the Oval Office while setting a hard and fast deadline, too. Listen.
No, I don't know. I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens. This is the last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is the last chance for them to sign a good document.
Your thoughts on the folks who are saying we keep on hearing this over and over again and nothing changes?
Well, look, at the end of the day, this president has been one of the most lenient when it comes to try and beg for some type of a diplomacy effort, as opposed to always going to war. If you look at previous administration, previous presidents, the first thing they do is they want to go ahead and enact war immediately. They want to go ahead and start putting troops on the ground. They want to start spending trillions of dollars in 20 years plus, like we did in Iraq and Afghanistan. This president has continued to make diplomatic strides and efforts. This president has offered nuclear energy as a way to get away from their nuclear programs to make sure that they can't continue to advance things. The Iranian IRGC has proven time and time again that they have lied multiple times. One was when they shot a 2,200 nautical mile long-range ballistic missile that would have hit Diego Garcia, which they said they never had that possibility. That's a range that would have hit all the major European cities like London, like Paris, like Rome, putting many at risk. And so what we do know is that the president's continuing to squeeze them in many ways, not just economically. The new prime minister of Iraq has given a September 30th deadline, which means that all Iranian-backed militias will leave or meet military force in Iraq. Syria has pushed them out completely, and they are losing their stronghold in every single arena. So this president has put them not only into diplomatic isolation, military strengthening, but also has gone ahead and looked at them from an economic sanctioning that they've never seen before. And I think that what we need to be looking at is, yes, secure the Straits of Hormuz, which is about 70% and 20% of global trade, the 70% of oil trade that comes out of there comes out of Iran. I think that what we need to do, though, is all the frozen Iranian assets, when they're hitting cargo ships, unfreeze those assets and make it be paid for with their money. Make them suffer to know that they'll never be able to get those frozen assets again, and see the reactions that they respond with.
All right. Congressman Cory Mills, thank you for your time this morning.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.